right, students, you've made it. You're on salary. You're making thousands of dollars per year. Congratulations. Salary. S-A-L-A-R-Y. Salary. How is that different than just making some dollars per hour? I'm glad you asked. Actually, I asked that. I'm glad I asked. I'm glad you probably asked on the other side of the screen too, let's be honest. But a salary is where you make a certain amount of money per year, no matter how hard or how many hours you work in that year. It's a flat rate. Now, when you are an hourly employee on wage, that means that you are working a certain amount of dollars per hour. So for every hour you work, you make more money. So that's the two different ways that people are typically paid. You're either on salary, which is a flat rate for the full year, or you're hourly, which means you get paid more for every hour that you worked. So let's come down to the screen and take a look at how you might split out your salary and think about the differences. So here I have $42,000 per year is the salary that you've been offered to go and work hard at the employer in your town. And so you're going to work the entire year. You'll get the weekends off. You will receive some medical benefits. You'll have insurance. And you'll have all major holidays off. And you're like, that sounds sweet, but I'm mostly focused on these $42,000 here. That's what's really making me excited. So if that's really true, you can't just look at 42,000 and say, I'm gonna go buy a brand new car because I have $42,000. You have to think about it more in terms of the increments. Like, if you're making 42,000, how much is that per month? Because when you think about your monthly bills, they're typically set in 30-day increments. Like, you'll have to pay your phone bill once a month. You'll have to pay your electric bill once a month. You have to pay your car loan once a month. You have to pay your mortgage, as if you buy a house, you'll owe a certain amount per month. So per month is a really helpful increment. So let's look at this. 42,000. How many months are there in a year? There are 12 months. There are 13 on leap year, though. Just kidding. That was a leap year joke. There are never 13 months. There's 12 months. Thanks for bearing with my bad jokes. So if we want to figure out 42,000 and we want to know how much that is per year, we can divide it by 12. Right? How much is that in 12 groups? Well, 12 doesn't go cleanly into 42, sadly, but it does go in 3 times. 3 times 12 is 36. All right, between 36 and 42, there are 6 remaining. We can pull down all these zeros if we want, because the next part's going to be clean. 12 goes into 60 5 times. Right, the 60, and then there's 2 more zeros left. So 3,500. So our salary, if we are paid monthly, will yield us $3,500 per month. Now that's more reasonable to think about your actual income. If you go strutting around and being like, I have 42,000, I have 42,000. First of all, people are going to get the wrong impression. They're going to be like, $42,000? Where is it? Can I have some of it? And you might have people like clinging to you, like, can I have some of your 42,000? You're like, no, that's my salary. That's annual. Monthly, it's less. And they'll be like, okay, can I still have some money? And you'll be like, no, I'm sorry, I said 42,000. So you're at $3,500 per month. This is how you might be paid. $3,500 per month. You might get paid on a monthly basis. You could also potentially be paid on a weekly basis on a salary. It's certainly, shall we say, less frequently done, but it is possible. So if this is weekly, we wouldn't divide it by 12 anymore. We'd divide it by 52 weeks or 53 weeks in a leap year. Just kidding, 52. Again, these leap year jokes, I don't know why they're coming out, but they're really bad. 52 weeks in a year. 52 weeks. 52 weeks. I just love leap year. It's so fun. I just want to talk about it even when it doesn't apply. All right, 52. All right, so if we're getting paid on a weekly basis, this is also a helpful increment for us to understand how much money we can spend in a week before we go broke, right? We don't want to spend all the money that we make every week, so it is helpful to divide it by 52 sometimes. The issue is that this also doesn't go in cleanly, so we're going to have to think about this. Let's see, so 9 times, I'm thinking about if I should write a 9 here. I'm going to use some of my mental math skills. 9 times 52 is too hard, so I'm going to do 9 times 50. 9 times 50 would give me 450. Do you see if I write 450 here, that's too big? So I can't write a 9. So I'm going to try an 8. Okay, so 8 times 52 is 416. You'd be like, Mr. Rogers, how did you do that so quickly? Let me teach you another mental math skill. 8 times 52 is too hard, but 8 times 50 is totally doable. 8 times 50 is 8 times 5 with a 0 at the end. So that's 40 with a 0 at the end. So 8 times 50, 8 times 50 would give us 400. And then we do, well, we're missing 2 groups. So we do 8 times 2, and that'll give us 16. Then we just add those puppies together and we'll get 416. So 416. Right? So between 416 and 420, the difference is 4. All right, we'll bring the 0 down. 52 does not go into 40, so we'll write a 0. We'll bring down the next 0. Does 52 go into 400? Well, we just wrote 8 and we got 416. Right? Because we add these together, we get 416. So 416 is too big, so we can't write 8. We have to write 7. So 807. Let's try that. 7 times 50 would be 350. And 7 times 2 is 14. So that's 364. All right, so the difference between 464 is 36. And we see that 52 is not going to 36, so I'm actually going to leave this here. We could keep dividing until the cows came home, but this is a good enough number to tell us that we're going to make $807 per week. All right, that's another really helpful number for us, because if we're going out and having fine dining excursions and we eat out 5 times a week and we're spending $200 at each time, you know, going to fine Michelin star restaurants, and you just, excuse me, sir or ma'am, you dropped your towelette here, let me tuck this in here. And like, oh, the foie gras is delicious, could I have another? And like, absolutely. You get the bill, it's $200. You're like, that's fine. I make $42,000 a year. This $42,000 can sing you a sweet, sweet song, but you need to divide out your salary into smaller increments, because you're only making $807 a week, and you have other bills to pay. Last one, $3,500 a month, $807 a week, bi-weekly. Bi-weekly, what does that mean? Well, let's actually split this out from science. We know that bi is going to mean 2, and weekly, right? All right, that's not hard, 2 weeks, right? So 2 weeks, so every 2 weeks, we are going to get another paycheck. So instead of there being 52 weeks, there are 26 bi-weekly events where you get paid. So 26 bi-weekly paychecks. I'll just write that there. So bi-weekly basically means every 2 weeks or every other week. So what we're going to do is divide this by 26. 42,000. But already, I'm thinking that I don't want to do that again. I mean, look at how much time we spent dividing. Oh, I like need water just thinking about it. There's like sweat dropping from my brow. That was like so much standard algorithm division that week. Like there's a little bit of, I won't go there, I don't want to make anyone sick. But I think there might be an easier way to do this. You see, I noticed that 26 is half of 52. So every 2 weeks I'll actually be making more money because there's going to be more money. It's like 2 weeks worth of checks into 1 week. So the easiest way for me to do this is actually just to multiply my weekly by 2. So if you've already done the weekly, don't do more work. It's way easier just to multiply this by 2. 2 times 800 is 1600, and 2 times 7 is 14. So 1614. Right? And this would be biweekly. So you're on salary, or you're working a job that gives you a certain amount of dollars per hour. They're different. On salary, you go to work most business days, and they don't keep track of how many hours you're working because they're expecting that you're going to work really hard to earn your large cash figure of $42,000 per year. The key for you, though, super important, is to not think about your annual salary too much, because you'll start to get a little too overconfident, and maybe you were going for that mid-sized sedan and now you're going for the luxury SUV, and you're like living above your means because you're making so much cash. I implore you, please, divide by 12, divide by 52, divide by 26, figure out in smaller increments how much money you're making so you can actually budget your money properly. Because I just want you all to be successful financially. I'm so glad you're taking this course. Have a great day.